relationship that you was in, that was toxic, that obviously I know a little bit about. Can you just spend just a minute or two just talking about some of the traits or some of the experiences that you had within that relationship? Because, I've had this conversation quite a lot recently with people about how restrictive it is, not just in business. I'm talking about life, in general, happiness, right? How restrictive it is to be in a negative relationship, but you get trapped, right? And it all comes from experiences that maybe are leading up to that point that you've had with your upbringing, low self-esteem, low self-confidence, not feeling worthy, right? And then you end up in this toxic narcissistic kind of situation. So can you tell us a little bit about what that was like and how you managed to find the strength to move on?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is actually a second abusive relationship. So I know that's the one you're talking about, Alex. So after this healing I did, I actually went into yet another abusive relationship, and it was the worst one so far. And it was incredibly, incredibly hard, right? There was a lot of emotional and bullying, emotional abuse, terrible mental abuse, and the stories are long and very gruesome what happened. Although what happened during that time is that I had another child with this person. And when my child was 10 months old, I knew I had to get out. I knew for literally the whole relationship. I knew before we had the child, but I didn't want to do an abortion. So I started working from that moment onwards to find my way to get out. It took me 6 years to get to that point, but I did. And I started really, really, really thriving at the same time as I broke down. My whole body shut down. I had blackouts during the whole relationship, and I had blackouts after the relationship. Sometimes 10, 15 blackouts a day. I was in a very, very sad state. And I also started having seizures after we had broken up because the abuse didn't stop. It just kept on going. He actually got worse after we broke up almost, just to sort of really kill me off, so to speak, because he didn't want me to have a good life.
I don't think that people who are fortunate enough to have experienced anything like that or any, serious anxiety or depression or mental illness understands the physical side of what that stress can bring.
Yeah, it's terrible.
People think it's all mental and, you can just kind of toughen up and push through it. But when you're in that place of anxiety and darkness and depression, the physical symptoms it can bring on. And I've seen those video clips. And a lot of people, in the socials that are connected to you, you've been, confident and strong and, enough to share that stuff. And it's incredibly hard to watch. Yeah. But to think that those episodes were brought on from being broken down by someone who supposedly loved you is almost hard to imagine.
It is very hard to imagine, but what I would say to that and to the listeners is that I had to go through that to reset.
Right.
It was literally my rebirth. So having those seizures and actually realizing that I was the cause of what was going on in my body, I was holding on to so much anger and so much old stuff sat in my body, that my emotions were trapped in my body. My trauma was trapped in my body. And the only one that could cure that was me.
And we've spoken a lot about this. And Jess has been an incredible mentor for me going through hard times in relationships. And what Jess helped me to realize, and it's a work in progress, right? Every single day. It's never really the other person's fault.
Yeah.
It's you. It's how you view yourself. Yeah. And someone said to me something years ago, someone that was very, enlightened like yourself, Jess, said to me, anybody that you meet in your life, who you choose to bring into your life, should purely only ever complement your existing happiness. If you love to travel like me and you understand the power in escaping the money for time exchange trap, but you just don't know how to do it, then building an Airbnb consultancy business could be exactly what you have been looking for. Right now in the UK, There is a completely untapped opportunity through helping struggling Airbnb hosts by turning around their underperforming properties and generating you huge commission payments in the process. We are going to teach you all of the tools and all of the techniques that we've learned over the last 5 years through building our very own multiple six-figure Airbnb business, arming you with everything that you need to swoop in and save the day. Minimal startup costs, zero risk, and almost unlimited potential. Sound good? Welcome to the Airbnb Consultant. Contact us through any of the channels included in the studio notes to get the conversation started.